Hey everybody, we are Easy Allies and welcome to our reactions of The Last of Us Part 2 State of Play that some people need, apparently. Some people in chat are definitely saying that they still need a little bit more details. I do not. I am full in on this. I am Brandon Jones. I'm joined by Daniel Bloodworth and Brad Ellis.
Hello.
Thank you for joining me and potentially, learning things today that you maybe did not need to know, because this is definitely a hugely anticipated game. There's also definitely a massive spoiler warning because we have concerns about, people bringing up spoilers in chat. We are in sub-only mode right now, FYI, people that are just joining us. So thank you to our subs, thank you to our mods for handling all the madness, and thank you to everybody just stopping by to watch. Not doing much of a pre-show because...
Yeah.
You know what I actually forgot to do? I haven't even seen the last story trailer. So, apologies if I'm like,
sure.
hey,
Yeah,
look at
I haven't
that.
watched
And
it either,
everyone's
yeah.
like, no, that was in the story trailer. I'm just completely in on this. Totally sold on this just based on the pedigree of the first game. I'm excited about everything I've seen so far. Michael Huber will not be joining us. Seems like a lock, but Huber is playing this game right now.
Right.
So
We don't want him to inadvertently spoil anything.
didn't really seem to make sense. This is also my first time doing setting up stuff for reactions since we've been doing stuff for Stay at Home. So apologies if things look weird, sound weird. I think I'm good to go. I think I'm all set up. This should just hopefully just take care of itself, and it will begin shortly. So thanks for watching us.
Yeah, you make it sound like you're about to leave, Brandon. What's going on?
Yeah.
Well, I just
Bye.
I'm guessing there's going to
Bye,
be sound.
everybody.
I'm guessing there's going to be sound. That's my hope.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that when this thing starts, you can hear
One
it.
thing to note, the YouTube premiere thing that starts up is always way louder than anything else.
Got it. Yeah. That's right.
So I streamed, not really streamed, but I recorded myself playing Sly last week.
Hell yeah, Bloodworth.
And what's funny is sort of similar thing there where anytime there's a animated cutscene in between, the story beginning and end, it's way louder than the game is. Yeah, so I just started just shut up whenever those came up. I'm like, all right, we'll just watch this. Because I didn't have chat there to monitor, so I'm like,
Yeah. Lots of people are gonna die today in this, I foresee.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
Oh, here
Lots
we go.
of brutal kills I can
Some-
see happening.
Some bloodletting. Load, baby.
2
Load.
minutes.
Are you seeing a countdown go? I'm seeing a loading
It's,
bar.
it's buffering now.
Yeah.
It did count down for 3 seconds.
Oh, I didn't even get 3 seconds. Good times. Good times.
I'll reset on my end and see if it does anything.
Give it a refresh. It's going
Yeah.
for me now.
Yeah, just give that a refresh. Why not?
Yeah, it's at 138.
There we go.
Before we start, maybe next week get some more info on that PS5, maybe? Supposedly. Next
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Very loud. Just turned it down.
Keeps jumping a little bit for me, but hopefully
It
it'll be okay.
does. Yeah,
Yeah.
here we go, folks. Oh boy. Well, if people die in this, you get to see them die maybe twice. It's just the I don't think this is part of Summer Game Fest, right?
No,
this is
I
just
don't
Sony's
think
old
so.
thing.
Yeah,
He
I
didn't
mean,
say
it's
anything
weird
about it.
because things can be and not really change anything. But yeah, not really.
Alright, here we go.
I'm ready. I'm holding off on turning it up until I actually hear audio from it, but I probably will have to turn it up a little bit. Yeah. Oh man, we're skipping, aren't we?
I wish things were different. I wish things were different.
Yeah, okay, hold on. Stop.
Ooh.
But they ain't.
Please stop.
These state of plays that just roll right into it. No state of play intro, no VO, just literally just letting Naughty Dog take the wheel.
I'm leaving tomorrow.
Oh, looks so good.
Jones shot, yeah, right there.
Ah!
We be leaving Jackson vulnerable.
So they just get to get away with this.
How'd you find us?
You can't stop this.
Ugh.
I want what you want. But not at any cost. I really hope you make it.
What a jolly game we're about to play.
I have to finish it.
Ugh.
There's a cost.
Oof. That car shot was interesting.
We could have killed you.
Definitely some really cool car sequences in the first
Maybe
game.
you
So.
should have.
It's gonna be heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Neil Druckmann, Vice President of Naughty Dog and the
Hey,
director
Neil, let's do it.
of The Last of Us Part 2. We're just a few weeks away from launch on June 19th, when the game will finally be in your hands. The wait has been long, and we're extremely grateful for your patience, especially now in the midst of these unprecedented and challenging times. We hope you're all taking care of yourselves and that you, your friends, and your loved ones are doing well.
Thanks, Neil.
Because of these extraordinary circumstances, we can't be together in this final stretch and share the experience like we usually would. So today we're trying something different. Something we've never done before. Over the next 20 minutes or so, we're going to give you an in-depth look into what awaits you in The Last of Us Part 2, including new details about the gameplay experience and story. And to cap it all off, we'll be showing a never-before-seen, lengthy gameplay sequence. You'll definitely want to stick around for that.
I was in that room, kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I was supposed to take her to the Fireflies and walk away. They were actually going to make a cure.
Getting right into it.
The only
Yeah.
catch. It would kill her.
Wonder if any of this VO is for this video, if this is all
The
in
Last
game.
of Us Part 2 picks up Ellie and Joel's story several years after the events of the first game. Ellie and Joel have settled in Jackson, Wyoming, amongst a thriving community of survivors. With the threats of the world kept outside the town's walls, Jackson has been able to find relative peace and even stability. Ellie is now 19, lives on her own, and has been able to forge lasting relationships within the community.
Interesting, we don't see Joel in
Scale
any of
of
this,
1 to
but he's
10.
there.
How would you rate our kiss from last night?
However, this peace is short-lived. Jackson and Ellie suffer a violent and traumatizing event. Ellie sets off back into the treacherous outside world in search of retribution and justice.
Ugh. Good
Her
luck.
journey will take her to new parts of the country previously unexplored in The Last of Us.
Cool. It's so pretty.
The story spans
Yeah.
multiple seasons and climates, from the snow-capped mountains of Jackson to the lush Pacific Northwest. Each introduces a wide range of exterior and interior environments for you to navigate and explore, rendered in meticulous detail and unprecedented scale with the latest iteration
That's
of
City,
the Naughty Dog
man.
engine.
Yeah.
Our goal was to make these environments not only beautiful, but feel as grounded and authentic to the cities they're based on as possible. Much of the story unfolds in what remains of Seattle, a massive former quarantine zone. Its locales are incredibly diverse, spanning a dense city center with a skyline of towering high-rises to the beautiful suburbs and stormy waterfronts that surround it. The city exhibits drastic shifts in architecture, elevation, and weather. And with Part 2, we've introduced new traversal mechanics that afford greater exploration and ways to navigate threats. Ellie is not only able to climb and jump over gaps, but she can use ropes to scale vertical terrain or swing over obstacles, allowing you to discover new areas, resources, and side narratives.
Nice.
Whee!
These more open environments
Yeah.
also create
Yeah,
new
way down.
strategic considerations in combat, whether it's to get the jump on enemies or bypass
Oh.
them entirely.
Oh, wow.
The Last of Us Part 2 features some of the largest environments we've ever created. Horseback riding will allow Ellie to quickly cover some of these expansive terrains. Some streets are so flooded that a boat is required to navigate them.
Wow.
Cool.
However, the world of The Last of Us is as lush and inviting as it is deadly. As Ellie uncovers the path to finding those who have wronged her, she must face the many threats of this unknown city. In the wake of the pandemic and the fall of the quarantine zone, Seattle has become a war zone.
Too real.
Two warring factions find themselves in an ongoing conflict for territory and resources. One of these groups is the Washington Liberation Front, otherwise known as the WLF.
Oh.
The WLF are a militia group that began as resistance to the military occupation of Seattle and eventually wrestled control of the city from them.
Wow.
They are highly trained, organized, and well equipped with weapons they stole from the army. They occupy much of the city, imprisoning or killing trespassers on sight.
Hey, we got another trespasser. A girl. Did you see her?
On the other
They look
side
like a
of this bloody
workbench.
conflict is a
Yeah,
group
to get
of
grabbed at
religious
your workbench.
zealots called the Seraphites, or Scars,
Ooh.
defined by the self-inflicted deep cuts that they bear across their faces.
Cool, they're going back to old trailers to show, like, here's
Like
what this
the
was.
WLF, they're
Right.
deeply tribalistic and territorial. They're known for being stealthy, using overgrowth as cover, and they use more silent weapons like bows and arrows.
Clip her wings.
I don't need to see this again.
Yeah, I know.
Beyond this
I'm good.
conflict
Oh, okay.
among
Thank you.
survivors, the threat that originally brought the world to its knees is very much present. Every human is in danger of falling victim to the infected.
That's like a whip sound.
They are the recently infected runners, who are more numerous and aggressive in this game.
Oh.
The blind but extremely deadly clickers, and the stalkers, who sneak and hide until they're ready to attack, surprising their victims with extreme agility and brutal violence. The Last of Us Part 2 introduces new stages of infected, such as the Shamblers. Large, heavily armored enemies that are covered in pustule. Upon getting close to you, they expel a corrosive spore cloud that burns its victims. But our most terrifying and lethal new forms of infected will have to wait until you play the game for yourselves.
All right.
Big boys.
The sound effect tease, though.
That's great.
Overcoming these threats will require careful consideration of how you approach every combat encounter and how you leverage Ellie's unique skills, equipment, and the environment to your advantage.
Summer of Stealth, Brad. Summer of Stealth.
Hey, I'm
WLF
for
control
it.
the streets of Seattle with guard dogs, which are capable of detecting and following you, even while in cover.
You think this guy's connected to the
They can pick up your scent and alert their handlers to your presence. Listen mode will reveal your scent trail, so keep moving and cause distractions to avoid detection.
They could be hiding anywhere.
25 years after the pandemic began, the world is completely overgrown. Use tall grass to hide from enemies and go prone to stay out of sight. However, this form of analog stealth means you're never fully hidden. If enemies get close enough, they can discover you, even in grass. When Ellie is overwhelmed, running away is a viable option. You can also break glass
Oh.
or crawl through tight spaces.
She was
Find
gonna
new
jump
paths
through it.
Or areas to evade or take on your enemies. In any given combat situation, you can flee an encounter and re-establish stealth to regain the advantage. If you absolutely have to fight your way out, there are a variety of tools at your disposal. Ellie's more agile than most of her enemies. She can sprint and quickly dodge incoming attacks. Learning how opponents attack with different weapons and mastering the timing of your dodges will prevent you from taking damage and create opportunities to counterattack. You can use throwable items or well-placed shots to stun enemies before dealing a killing blow.
There you go,
Yeah,
Brad.
yeah.
Or using them as a shield to protect yourself or buy some time to figure out your next move.
Oh man. Oh.
Oh!
Ellie isn't always alone on her journey. Allies will take part in helping you navigate the environments, spot enemies, and meaningfully help you in combat encounters.
Nice.
Oh yeah. Who is that dude?
Yeah, we've seen him a few times.
Oh, we did. Yeah, we saw him in
Yeah.
the beginning. Yeah. I think we even know his name. I'm just blissfully ignorant at this point.
Between the human survivors and the roaming infected, there will be times where multiple threats are present, creating new strategic considerations and opportunities. You can choose whether to attack these opponents separately and directly, or find ways to pit them against each other.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of this in Left Behind, but not at all
Flee
in
as
the
they
original
fight,
game.
or wait until
Walking
their
right
numbers
past
have
those
thinned out
supplies. Hard to
and
watch.
engage
Hard to
with
watch.
Yeah. Should be looting everything.
I'm here for this. Yeah.
Our goal is to create unparalleled attention, coupled with deep systems that give you greater control and influence over your journey.
Yeah, remember that.
As you play, you'll be able to invest in a broad collection of crafting items, weapon, and player upgrades through training manuals scattered throughout the environment and scavenging for ingredients. These skills and upgrade manuals cater to a variety of playstyles, and the choices you make will create your own distinct experience. We also wanted to extend that agency and personalization to your weapons through our new workbench system. Scavenge for parts to modify and improve your weapon's performance and attributes, all of which are visualized and become part of your character.
Sniping's so scary though.
Yeah.
So loud. Bullets so
Survival
scarce.
will also require using the parts and ingredients that you'll find in the environment, which can be crafted into a wide range of defensive and offensive items, like proximity mines, explosive arrows, pistol suppressors, and more.
It's interesting they said pistol suppressors rather than silencers.
Yeah.
That's like the official name. I always hear that from gun aficionados that they're not called silencers.
All of these gameplay
That doesn't
systems
silence it.
are
it
meant
just
to
makes it
immerse
quieter.
you in the world
Right.
and make you feel in lockstep with Ellie's emotional journey.
Well, that's the first trailer. Yeah.
Yeah.
As we've said before, this is Naughty Dog's largest, most ambitious game. It may seem like we covered a lot, but we've only scratched the surface of what it's like to play The Last of Us Part 2.
Oof.
Guitar
We
minigame.
can't
Guitar
wait for you to
minigame.
experience it all for yourself on June 19th. Until then, here's an extended sequence of never-before-seen gameplay. Enjoy.
All right.
I will.
We get a little setting tag here. Or...
This just had to be so exhausting to mocap in VO. I cannot imagine.
Did you find her yet?
Escape while no one was looking. We're searching the area, just in case she's still around.
Isaac's not happy about it.
No shit.
Escape.
It's interesting with your partners now. I wonder if there's going to be any of that like helping. That was such a big part of the old game, you know, just like
Right.
the rafts, and, like,
Yeah.
hoisting her up and pulling her down. I wonder if just all of that's like there's co-op stuff, but like you don't need to like assist someone else in the same way. I wonder. They haven't really showed a lot of it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we haven't seen much gameplay with her with anyone else. It's always just those brief snippets.
Yeah.
And like this doesn't look like a sequence where she has a partner either.
I mean, that made a lot of noise, but whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, okay.
Don't make a fucking sound. Hands up.
She playing a Vita?
She's playing a Vita.
Where is she?
Vita lives.
We're in the hospital.
Yeah, they're clearing out the upper floors. She's somewhere in there.
Oh,
Not cool, man.
Oh.
just a dumb move.
Yeah.
Vita's still going.
It's still good.
Yeah, what game is that?
It's just music, I think.
Look at it! Damn!
No, I don't know. There's something on the screen for sure.
Is it a music game? Well, yeah, I would show whatever track you were playing or something.
Hotline Miami? Oh.
Yeah, lots of people in chat are saying Hotline Miami. That's funny.
That's so funny.
Good. I got my girl waiting.
Naughty Dog loves those PlayStation references.
They put you in jail again?
Upstairs. Hey, we get the job done.
But it's different every playthrough.
I bet you do. Oh, this is not fair.
I'm telling you, man. Data soldier. It makes these shifts so much easier.
Sure.
This is their actual base. I feel like the grass might be worn down a little here and there.
Right, yeah. Also, just all the investment you're doing in structures, you might want to get a lawnmower.
Hey, video.
No, of course, yeah.
I heard that Isaac wants us to retake all of downtown.
Just trying to rep Ian Hank just a little bit. You know what I mean? Just bring that realism just a little
No
bit.
way. Not after what went down last time. Even Isaac isn't that crazy.
That's what I heard.
And you gotta stealth just to listen to everybody.
Yeah, this casual VO goes so far with me. I love this stuff.
All right, calm down.
Oh!
Man.
Get used to it.
Dude, the death animations are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Holy jeez.
Not cozy. What is that? Oh, just wood.
Yeah, plank, dude.
Nice.
Fan out. Check the whole courtyard. Someone's out there.
Lights
Light
it,
it.
puts it in her pocket.
Dude, yeah. Whoa.
Save that for later. Okay, it extinguished, alright. Oh, poor dog.
Yeah, gonna have to kill a lot of dogs in this.
Oof.
Doesn't feel good. No dog run. No dog kill run. Yeah, Peter's gonna be pissed.
I'm just gonna slack to like Huber. How many dogs have you killed?
Monster.
I don't want to talk about it. But I mean, talk about realism, you know, talk about making sense. Like, of course,
Just like that.
Yeah, bow
people in
action
groups,
Jones.
people by themselves. Oh no, don't get me started, man. Between this and Tsushima, it's just like.
Oh,
Some
that
headshots.
crunch!
Yeah, man.
The sound in this game, good god.
The HUD teases too. It's just like, what are all those items?
Yeah.
Oh,
Saw movement. I'll go check it out. I got you covered. Holy shit!
Noticing bodies is good.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Oh!
Over here!
And that too. Like a
nice
real
shot.
alerting other people.
Oh my god!
Right on the side.
Holy jeez.
No.
I found her!
Oh. Dude, how in depth is she gonna get about these kills in this review?
Oh, sure, yeah.
That's what I want to know.
Feel them.
Yeah.
Are they too intense for you?
We'll pass it.
Oh!
Oh.
Taking some hits.
Damn it! Find another way off!
I like that she missed a couple shots, you know? It wasn't a totally clean run. I reloaded so many times in the first game, just like, I could do that better. I know I can.
Oh, yeah. Anytime there's stealth, it gets really tempting.
That you, Nora?
Uh-oh. We're going to get flagged for this one.
Metal Gear, dude.
Whatever track this is.
It might not be too bad since it's kind of distorted a little bit.
Is it Ice Cube?
Let's just talk over it. Talk over it.
Stupid. You're gonna tell us where she went.
When Isaac talks to us about this...
I'm getting tired of this.
Nora! I'm not going down for her, man.
Yeah, this is risky.
Yeah. Die Hard vibes.
Is there a door? Felt like they were right there.
Yeah. Confident.
Get the tape.
Get the
Oh!
The icon even trailed along the left, like on the bottom of the screen.
Rude.
Don't scream. Put that shit down. You remember me? Yeah. You remember me.
Oh, what a tease.
Whew.
But I don't feel like, I don't know, with the exception of just kind of the story run through at the beginning, like, there wasn't a lot of that I'm like, la 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 la, I wish I didn't. Just kind of set everything up.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I feel he described at most like 2 hours of gameplay in terms of story.
Right. Oh yeah, I mean, I really feel like, you know, aside from the leaks, I feel like it's very much like God of War, right? Where when you go back on it, you know, like what they've shown in advance is basically nothing.
All right, so I'm gonna see if I can find this one. We can watch it again. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay, let's see if I can do this.
Yeah,
boom! Is it just?
It should be the same
from here?
same video, yeah. It'll just become a VOD.
Or I think hold on a second. Yeah, hold on.
Beep.
How do I add a new thing to?
You should be able to just refresh the same page you're on.
Yeah. Let's see.
What do you think of Pyramid Head coming to Dead by Daylight? Cool. Silent Hill's alive in some way.
Oh, it might have to wait a minute before it actually works. Yeah,
I got the link. Hold on. I just need to. We can just watch it from here. Sorry, everybody. Hold on a second.
They've always done the PS4 turning on intro. Yeah, they've done it a few times.
Mm-hmm.
At least as far back as when they did the State of Play for Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah.
Clean this up.
Frame by frame.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know that the gameplay itself showed us anything really new, but
you wish things
maybe
were
the rope
different.
thing.
Yeah. Yes, that's super loud. Hold on a second.
But yeah,
Nothing
man,
unexpected, I guess.
The
Which
kill
isn't a bad
sounds.
thing at all. Yeah, brutal The sound effects, the animation, ridiculous.
But they ain't.
Yeah, it's for doing a single game state of play. I think this is a really good way to go. I think it's nice that like they give you a mix, right? They're like, okay, here's a bunch of things we want to highlight that's edited together, and then okay, now we'll actually show you a nice solid chunk of gameplay.
Yeah.
And then having somebody like, I think what's really important is having somebody that's really intimately familiar with the game talking about it.
Yeah.
Rather than just like a random host or something.
Yeah, Tsushima had Nate Fox, then this had Neil Druckmann. So yeah, people very closely associated with the games is good.
Yeah, but Tsushima had a few different people.
Oh yeah, it did.
Nate
yeah,
came
you're
in
right.
during
It
the
had a
second
couple.
half.
You're right. Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I don't feel like any of this was conflated for like emotion's sake or like any. I didn't get a lot of like, greasy PR talk. This really seemed legitimately like, to be introducing things that like maybe we knew but like hadn't really been focused on. Was there anything gameplay wise? Was there anything? I will go first. I think the two things that just like I'm like yes. So much of that. Just bringing in clickers on the group. Just going in and sensing you can see enemies before other people can, and so I'm super excited about that. That's going to be fun to see.
Like the dog scent thing was new, I think.
The AI
No, I think they showed that
that was actually the
preview
gameplay
that
they showed
Huber
too,
did.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I hope you can turn that off, like you can their first game, the detective mode thing.
Oh, sure.
And the dodging, holy cow! That one moment where she's just like, ho 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 ho, like really anticipating every single move he did.
Yeah, I think like with a lot of Naughty Dog's games, like a lot of it comes down to the details in that presentation, right? Just like the difference between having like a couple of dodge animations versus like what that like it felt like the dodges were very contextualized to the specific enemy's weapon, and what was happening, even based on like what direction the person was swinging from.
And I thought that gameplay, boy, this video really reminded me, because there's just so many games, there's so much stuff we're covering, and it's been like a pretty decent amount of time. I've gone back and played Last of Us 2 and then or the first Last of Us with the remastered like a year and a half ago. And like this video still hit me with like, oh yeah, Last of Us. Like, right, like I knew this was games just on my list. I knew this is something that I was going to enjoy, but just specifically when it like really, which I can jump to, if we prefer to do that. But like when they specifically got into that gameplay section, I was like, oh right, that's I remember just how tricky it is, because I think it's interesting, Brad, with the detective mode, because there are a lot of stealth games that really give you like a ton of tools to really like understand an environment, and like that's kind of not how this series does it, and it's kind of a part of like you not knowing, like you being completely unfamiliar with the scenario, not getting a lot of chance to like really get the verticality you can get in something like Tsushima, where it's just like, oh no, we really want you to get up on that rooftop and look at everything and really plan like the whole environment. Where in this, it's just like there's that one thing that they introduced, the clicker that I don't remember from the first game, that'll just hide.
Right.
That'll
yeah,
very
the
specifically
Gamblers.
Yeah.
Oh, the stalkers are different, isn't it?
Because I guess the vibes with those was that like they just can't see you. Like the moment that they'll hear you, that's when they'll go to attack. So I guess those things will sense you, and they do know you're there. Like
they'll just creep.
Maybe they still have a bit of vision or sonar, and so they just will wait and hide. That they have enough sense to do that. We did not see Joel fight at all. We did not see her walk around with him.
They just showed him like shoot someone at the beginning, right? At the very beginning, that was it. But like you not playing as him or gameplay.
Right.
Yeah. I wonder if you will switch to, you mentioned that City Blood, yeah. I wonder if you will switch to any of the other characters in this. I wonder if anyone else will be playable.
Yeah, maybe.
Or, people definitely came and went in the first game.
Oh yeah.
Well, the thing that's interesting too is I'm curious what the journey ends up looking like, right? Because we've seen her go basically west now, right? She's gone from Jackson to Seattle. And we had like a very specific goal of getting across the country in the first game. So I'm curious, like, how she'll go from there and what's going to lead her to go to new areas.
Yeah.
And I also get a feeling that like this revenge setup is probably like act 1 and then something else happens and who knows,
Sure, yeah.
I do love that as a poll, though. She's just pissed.
Oh, yeah.
She's not trying to find somebody. She's not trying to recover something, because that did get a little exhausting. I mean, like, in a good way. Like the first game, and I'm sure this game will just be emotionally and physically draining. That's kind of like the point, what they were trying to achieve. But there definitely was a like, let's go here. Oh, we didn't happen. Let's go here. Oh, we didn't find it. And so I like that as a bit of a change of pace. That even though she is trying to get from point A to point, E, like, B, C, D, as long as she's killing a lot of people on the way there, then yeah, mission accomplished.
I also think it's interesting that like her and Joel definitely seem to part ways and have differences a little bit, but not in a way that's like, they don't seem like super angry at each other or anything.
No.
But, like, I don't think this is the right thing to do. You want to do it, go ahead,
Yeah, and it we have jumps in time where we kind of see like the man that Joel used to be and the man that he became, and I think that was a theme running through this series, is just kind of who do you have to really become to survive in a world like this. And so it's really going to be interesting, even just outside of cutscenes, even just in gameplay. When she's talking to herself and reacting to things that are happening in real time, it's going to be interesting for her to see what she's like, and how she kind of struggles with it. Just kind of bouncing off what you said, Blood, where you're like, this revenge tale can't be the whole thing. There's got to be some sort of thing she learns, or some kind of
Well, I also wonder, has Joel told her what he did? Does she find that out at some point?
It looked like she did in the car, that car scene, or because she's in the back seat of the car when he's driving away, and she like looks pretty like upset, I guess. Like, she's not dead, but I'm sure she'll find out some way.
Yeah, I'm just curious whether that's something that's happened before all of this, or whether it's going to be a thing,
Yeah. A lot of the NPCs had names. I don't remember that in the first game.
They mentioned that in the earlier preview.
Okay, yeah.
Like, every character has a name.
That's super intense.
Yeah.
It just makes everything feel much more alive.
So if you, take out a guard and then someone notices he's gone, or is like,
Billy!
Hey, Hank, where are you? Yeah, exactly.
Like, sorry, Billy.
And just all of that is done so well. I think that's like the thing that really just, why Last of Us is such a masterpiece in my mind, is that all of those best narrative moments were not in cutscenes,
Yeah.
And not only that, what you can see from this is like those transitions between cutscenes are so subtle, like her going through the door and opening up that room at the end, and then just easing right into that moment that you can once the door opens, you can see her walking over, and you definitely get used to those things. Like, there were definite times where, like in the first game, where I'd walk into a room and be like, and the floor is gonna break out, there it goes, but they are pretty good at that, and I enjoy even just right here, just the really smooth transition. I imagine that seems to me, as a full-on non-developer, as something really, really hard to do, because I even see just little micro glitches in character movement when you transition from a cutscene back into gameplay, and like this is just so buttery smooth. They're so good at it. Just in that moment when your character finally clicks, like you either get like a little, jitteriness with the character model, or you have to force the character model into almost just this like straight, up and down pose before it's like, okay, now you're back into controlling the character. Love the breaking of this window.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool.
Glad to see the brick back too. Love the brick in the first game.
Yeah.
So she has the knife the whole time now, it seems like, right? The knife seems very important. I don't know if she actually punches anybody. I don't think it'll be as effective as like other weapons nearly, but
yeah, I wonder the extent of like, this right here, just this is the dodge, the grab, the push. that she not only moves back but moves to the side, so like it's not, the dodge isn't just an automatic, you know, move in one direction. Oh man, oh, so brutal. But yeah, got to get good at that stuff. Just these little tiny like distraction attacks, you know, like don't just unload. Because that's the thing. Like she didn't really like, and that would be a super tempting thing to do at this point. I think was to really like show the firepower. I think that Molotov was really as heavy as it got.
Right.
This is like this whole thing was like rifle, pistol, bow. That was most of what she used. Where like just got to be a shotgun in here. Got to be.
Oh my god,
you know,
the shotgun.
Automatic weapons. There were a lot of like patrol moments from the first Last of Us, so like I wouldn't be surprised if there were like some gun placement sections where like you get on something that's stuck or immovable, and you have to either, you know, take out a large swarm of infected or humans and recover somebody. It's just not a lot of that, you know. Especially so close to the game, I'd be very as a dev, as a trailer editor, I'd be like, come on, give me the give me the firepower.
But I also think that even if that stuff's in there, it kind of doesn't really go for the hunted kind of vibes. You know, turns things way more actiony.
And we've seen this area before. I think they did a good job of showing extended or more gameplay in areas that we had already seen.
Definitely.
Not showing lead-ins, you know, it's just like and it's strange because this has got to be a really tough game a tough world to realize without being like boring, you know, like where you're just like, okay, another gray building with lots of grass, you know, and so I didn't really feel like, oh, I wish I hadn't seen this area, you know, like I don't know if I'll even remember any of these specifically, like once you actually get into the game. You'll be like, oh, right, I know what to do in this section because I saw that trailer, like I didn't see any of that coming up.
Well, I think even with the sections that we have seen, they're so wide that you know, I think that just the timing of when you go into them and what direction you come in from, it's going to make a big difference in how you handle a situation, even on, you know, a different playthrough.
Yeah, you're right, Blur. I'm hoping for more than one way to get into somewhere.
Where's our hype at? I was super hyped about that. I think I bumped up a little bit.
Oh, I definitely bumped up because, like, for me, you know, a lot of the times I'm just so busy with things that, like, I'm not really anticipating the next thing too much. Now we're doing this, and Ben is like sending me hype messages about the new stuff in Xenoblade. I'm like, dang it, dude, come on.
It's too much.
Yeah, don't do that. I've been quietly hyped for this game a long time, so I'm very ready.
But yeah, it's definitely making me like think about, okay, should I shift things around and like try to squeeze in another playthrough of Last of Us before this comes out? You know?
Yeah, I wonder, will that accentuate all of the new things? Will that mess with you in terms of like you getting comfortable with how one system particularly works? It doesn't look like the HUD and doesn't look like there are any huge drastic changes. There's just more, you know? Interesting that they didn't go into detail. I'm wondering how all that dodge stuff works. I'm wondering if that stuff changes depending on what weapons you have equipped, or how just gameplay wise
the timing window and everything too.
In. Okay, I do want to see this one more time. I think our conversation has potentially run its course, but we're actually getting into the actual gameplay demo now, which I do want
the watch together link stopped working for me, so I'm just talking to you guys.
I'm watching stream.
I'm sorry,
because we can't see it.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you're fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't sweat it. It's fine.
It's my first reaction, y'all.
I'll tell you one thing I didn't expect to see, which we did, was a Vita.
Oh yeah, dude.
Feels bittersweet almost.
So funny.
Gotta be more more references to how do you charge that stuff. I guess you got generators and stuff.
They got power.
And you got the cable. Gotta wonder, was that something she found, or has she kept, you know, when she escaped her apartment when the pandemic first came, she was like, can't leave the Vita.
Yeah, the Vita made it.
Because when did all this go down compared to our timeline? Are we like past that point?
I have no idea.
I guess.
I do not know the dates.
I always love that stuff, like Escape from New York, where like when we got Escape from LA, we were like way past like when Escape from New York had happened, and that was already set in the future. Yeah,
this year was Blade Runner, right?
I love when that stuff comes up. Yeah, I missed it. Yeah.
Swimming, baby.
Yeah, but it just and it's fun to see, obviously because she had issues with swimming in the first game, so it's just fun.
Chad is saying 2038 is the year there.
2038 is
2015 was when the outbreak started.
Ah, okay.
I was hoping she would like Tenchu stealth kill from the water or something, but this is good too because I get to see the Vita.
And it's that you can still inject a little humor in here, Yeah. It's like in this bleak world
until it becomes brutally violent and no humor.
I wonder if somebody like surprised Drachma with that. They just like put the Vita in her hands, and he like, goes in to check. I'm like, oh, nice. She originally just had a music player, and he was like, good touch. I like it. The rendered Vita in game. Yeah, what do we think? Just like visually, is there anything that like stands out? I think I'm kind of used.
Really good.
Yeah, I'm kind of used to just how this game looks based on the last couple times that we've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there's anything
the lighting
new.
right there looks real nice.
Yeah, I think a lot of it just comes down to like really tailoring spaces so that they don't all look the same.
Yeah, definitely.
Saw people chatting, asking. Apparently, Hotline Miami is what she was playing.
Yeah,
I guess that was what the music was from. But again, just these really smooth, super smooth transitions back into gameplay. Just reintroducing moments.
Yeah, it's like damp wood here.
And just you think when you watch these stealth sequences, it's just like, what if she just went to the right? What if she didn't follow those people and just went in a completely different direction? And that poor puppy. And interesting, when she gets to the end of this, there are like still people around, like banging on the door after she closes it. So it'd be interesting to see maybe if you can clear this area, or if that's just like a canned sequence where it's like, no, there's always.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something that's definitely going to be interesting about these playthroughs is, how much do you get through places like a Ghost without killing anybody? Mm-hmm. How often do you actually end up, totally clearing an area? Is that even something that fits into what you're trying to do, or are you just essentially wasting time by doing that?
Yeah.
How much do you search?
Interesting how much they'll contextualize also what her skill set is at the beginning of the game, because obviously, she grew so much in the last game. It'll be interesting to see.
You can probably get under that boat. Do you see there's like a gap there?
Yeah, you probably can.
Oh yeah, that's one thing. Yeah, one thing we didn't see her do is a lot of the underground stuff. I'll just put that out. Store that for later. But I love.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing that is nice about getting extended gameplay demo like this is that you do get to see some of the flaws and details that are missed as well. Like there's like once in a while I've seen some like very minor pop in and that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, when the guy, like when she stealth killed one guy, he was reaching for her and his hand went right through her bow.
Mm-hmm.
So just like there's only so much.
Yeah.
Allowances for that. I like that the dog death happened like off screen. Like you could
don't
hear
show that.
You could hear the carnage, but yeah.
Right.
I don't need to see that.
But I remember, and it's interesting. They talked about the combat, the co-op stuff where somebody would kind of sneak in a shot or here. I wonder if you could call for it specifically, because that was definitely something that was just kind of hard to ignore, especially on like I think I've played this game like 7 times in total, because this is the new game plus is so attractive. But just the fact that Ellie would walk right in front of somebody and they wouldn't see her because it wasn't you, and the game's like, I don't want to get you in trouble for something that the AI accidentally did. And it'd be interesting to see if they accounted for that this time, or if that's again with the animation something that they're like, what do you we're trying as hard as we can. There's just nothing we could do. It's just gonna happen sometimes.
Yeah, I really do wonder about that, because we haven't seen anything other than those few clips that shows another person with you. And you're not protecting them, right? It's not like with Joel and Ellie, like they were together constantly, and the other person could be going around the edges in a different direction, like.
Because that first, I think it was in the hotel, was that first real meaty chunk of the first Last of Us that we got, and Ellie was like definitely a part of that. Like he was definitely accounting for like where she was, and you know, you would see her hide as he was moving around and react to the things. I remember that was just one of the big eye-opening moments about Last of Us was I think he killed somebody and she was like, whoa.
Yeah.
You know, like, Joel, oh man.
Whoa, what the hell?
Brutal. And so that was definitely memorable. It's going to be interesting to see if there's any of that, you know, people she meets for the first time that are just like, well, she's 19. So I guess maybe I won't have to deal with that anymore. It's like seeing a 19-year-old that's capable of murder in this world is like not shocking.
Right.
I wonder if she's going to have any younger characters that she has to take care of, you know, kind of the shoes on the other foot now. That'll be interesting. And then now I just got to not think about this game.
Yeah, now we just got to wait.
Now I just got to like, oh, okay. And
just got to wait, man.
Brutal. Gotta go play Minecraft Dungeons and think about Last of Us Part 2. Nothing against Minecraft Dungeons. But again, just another, you know, I'm in the air duct, y'all. If any of you, sorry, are trying to follow along. But just another example of just really subtle. I will definitely be, if I am forced to go through these segments a couple times, it'll definitely be tempting to just kind of stop and just see like, how long is this loop? You know, like how long is this conversation going to play out? How, you know, where are those edges? How much can I play with this? And I like that for all of the setup of the plot that he did in the beginning, we don't really get a setup specifically over. Well, I don't know who this is. Do we know who this person is? That
I don't know.
Oh, that she's catching up with?
Yeah. I like that wasn't really filled in. But and the seasons thing he mentioned, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense that, you know, from what we followed in the first game, that we'll be traveling a lot, going to different areas, seeing the seasons change, time pass. Doesn't grab that duct tape. Just brutal. Cool.
Doesn't grab it. Yep.
And then we've seen this cutscene. Yeah, any last thoughts before we wrap it up?
So pumped, man. So excited to play this game.
Mike and Mike's coming up, right? Like immediately
Mike
after
and Mike
this?
is in
they're
minutes,
in the wings.
so we got to get out of here.
Yep.
Let's get out of here. Thank you, everyone, for being patient with us. Thank you to our mods for managing what could potentially be a spoiler tornado. You know, we decided to keep it subs only for this because we're so close. We're so close in this game. We want to, you know, all of us that are really trying to avoid spoilers. There's only so far you have to go. And hopefully we won't get any other big trailers or anything else we have to react to. But thank you, Naughty Dog, for this. We definitely appreciate it. Thank you, Daniel Bloodworth.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brad Ellis. I am Brandon Jones. We are Easy Allies. Follow us here. And again, we're streaming again in 10 minutes, but go to patreon.com/Easy Allies if you want to support us financially. We would definitely appreciate it. Stay safe, everybody. You don't want anything like this happening. Stay safe.
Yeah.